welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to customise your approach when you're hitting shots out the rough. So the first thing we need to understand is the lie. The lie controls what selection of club we choose, and it's also going to influence how much the ball is going to project out the rough. Is it going to go too far? Is it going to go too short? So understanding the lie is going to affect the spin, the trajectory and also the distance. The one thing we need to guard against out of this lie is the club face shutting down. So if we create too much grass between club face and ball, the heel will dig in, the club face will shut. So the key indicator we need to achieve here is we need to hit the ball first. Too many people that struggle with a shot get the club working too far on the inside to start off with. Then as they come back into impact, the club hits the ground behind the golf ball. So what we want to do is you want to hit the ball first. It's slightly sitting down. Feel like the grip end of the club goes down a little bit more. That's going to allow the club head to elevate up the way. A great feeling to establish that is feel like you're pushing down with your left hand and you're pulling up with your right hand. So we're hinging the club up a little bit quicker. Push down with the left hand, pull up with the right hand. That's going to allow us to hinge the club up a little bit earlier, but it's also going to allow us to avoid all the grass on the way back. So when you think of the backswing as a letter V, we're hinging the club up nice and quickly. The backswing gets a little bit more up and down. Then as we come through, we want to feel like we're holding on with the last three fingers of our left hand. So as we release the club, we know the club face is going to shut down. We release the club, we know there's going to be a lot of grass interaction with the club face, causing the club face to start closing. The ball will generally fly further because there's less spin. So the last three fingers of your left hand, you're just going to apply a little bit more pressure with those three fingers. That's going to help you keep that club face nice and open. So a little bit of pressure, feel like you grip a little bit tighter with those last three fingers. And as you release the club, feel like the heel always stays higher than the toe. If the toe overtakes the heel, the club face shuts down and we reduce the loft, and also the ball will travel a further distance. So feel like the heel always stays higher than the toe. The ball a little bit further back than normal. I'll weight a little bit more into the left side, so feel like left knees over the middle of your left foot. That's going to help your weight sit into your left side, but also keep that left hip lower. As you swing the club back, I want you to feel like you push the grip down. The feeling to develop from here is just feel like you're speeding the heel up and slowing the toe down. That's going to keep the club face nice and open. If we speed the toe up and let the heel slow down, the club face closes. So just feel a little bit of pressure with the last three fingers on your left hand. Hold that club face nice and open and nice and softly as well. So ball further back, weight further forward. You're going to hinge the club up a little bit quicker. Then as we come through, grip a little bit tighter with the last three fingers. Keep that club face nice and open. Grooves to the sky and keep that chest rotating towards the target. If you want to take the left shot out of the way, just grip a little bit tighter with your last three fingers. Keep the heel a little bit higher than the toe and feel like you're playing a little bit more of a cut shot for this shot. Keep the club face nice and open. Hinge the club up, release the club, keep the club face nice and open, grip a little bit tighter with the last three fingers. If you struggle out the rough, just allow the club to hinge up a little bit quicker, grip a little bit tighter with your last three fingers, keep that club face nice and open. That is a recipe for success out of the rough, and also just keep that club face nice and open, prevent that ball going left. Here we go. Struggle out the rough, that's the best formula that's going to give you a little bit more success. Allow the club to hinge up a little bit quicker in the backswing. Keep the club face nice and open as you release the club and prevent that toe releasing over the heel. Keep that heel nice and high on the way through. Keep that club face nice and open. In today's video, we're going to talk about two thoughts I've been working on recently within my iron play that's been encouraging me to create ball turf contact consistently every time that I hit an iron shot. It's trying to keep the bend in my right arm for longer. Many golfers get to this position and straightens too early. The contact point is before the golf ball. So two things, I'm trying to maintain the bend in my right arm for longer, coupled by keeping my chest down in a flex position towards the ground for longer into the downswing. That does two things. It allows me to get my weight into my heels, and it also allows me to lengthen my low point after the golf ball and allows the body to start extending after impact. So if you struggle with your iron play, think about trying to keep the bend in your right arm for longer. Feeling to establish that, if you think about the position of your right wrist relative to your right elbow gets to the middle of your stomach before your right wrist. So your right elbow is always working ahead of your right wrist. That's going to allow you to maintain the bend in the right arm for longer. It's going to enable you to keep your right palm down towards the ground for longer, which is going to allow this right wrist to stay in extension for longer. So two things if you struggle with your arm play: keep the bend in the right arm for longer and keep your chest down towards the ground. So keep your chest in a flex position down towards the ground. Then through impact, you're going to allow your weight to move into your heels. The bend in the right arm for longer, keep the chest down in a flex position So that's going to help you stay down a little bit longer. It's going to allow you to push your weight back into your heels, but it's also going to allow you to maintain your posture on the way down and then lengthen your low point after the golf ball. That's going to allow your left hip to clear through impact, but it's also going to allow you to get your weight back into your heels if you struggle with L extension, and also get your weight into your left side through impact. And that's going to lengthen your low point. It's going to allow you to create ball turf contact that everyone wants to achieve. So two things: keep the bend in the right arm for longer, keep the chest down towards the ground in a flex position. That's going to allow us to always get the hands ahead of the club head, and it's going to allow us to hit the golf ball first and then take a small compressed divot after the golf ball that everyone wants to achieve. So if you struggle with your iron play, here's two thoughts that you can implement within your practice. We want to keep the bend in the right arm for longer into the downswing, coupled by keeping your chest down in a flex position. So right arm to stay bent a little bit longer into the downswing, coupled by the chest remaining in a flex position towards the ground for longer. To create this, allow your right elbow to always lead the right wrist. So right elbow to get to the middle of your body before your right wrist. That's going to keep the bend in the right arm for longer. Your chest down for the duration. That's going to enable you to push your weight back into your heels. It's going to clear space for your arms and body. It's going to allow you to get your weight back into your left side. The bend in the right arm for longer. Keep the chest down, split second longer into the downswing. Get your weight into your left side at impact, and create a position where your hands are always leading the club head. It's going to enable you to hit the golf ball first and then lengthen your low point after the golf ball. So ball first, then the ground after the golf ball is a great combination that's going to improve your iron play. So maintain the bend in the right arm for longer, keep the chest down a split second longer into the downswing. That's going to enable you to push your weight back into your heels. Maintain the bend in your right arm for longer, keep the chest down a split second longer into the downswing. Allow the hands to always lead the club head. Two feelings as you come through impact. Allow your left leg to feel really heavy. That encourages your weight to stay into your left foot through impact, and then a great feeling to establish that is think about belt buckle and chest to target. That's going to enable you to get all your weight into your left side, but it's also going to enable you to create ball turf contact that everyone wants to achieve. So there's two issues we do see on a regular basis which is plaguing your ability to play golf early in the morning. One is you don't wake up early enough, and two is the moisture on the grass. So a lot of golfers will position the golf ball too far forward in the stance to get the stance too wide. As the club comes into impact, they don't get their weight forward enough at impact. The club hits the ground before the ball, and when there's moisture between the club face and the ball, the spin will reduce. One, get the ball position a little bit more in the middle of the stance. Grip end the club dissect through the instep of your left leg. As you swing back, we're going to take a shorter backswing, 3/4 backswing. Then as we come into the downswing, I'm going to feel a slight pressure shift into my left side. So my chest is going to open up a little bit more. My weight's going to transfer into my left side a little bit earlier. Chest opening up through impact is going to allow me to move my low point forward. Chest is going to face the target. Chest opens up on the way through. The more it's going to encourage your weight to move into your left side, but it's also going to enable us to hit ball first, and it's going to move our low point ahead of the golf ball.